Welcome to Sea Lake Yachts here in Kemah, Texas. We're located in Watergate Yachting Center on Pier 2. Been at this same location for over 25 years. We are a new boat dealer for Beneteau yachts, as well as lagoon catamarans and Pacific Seacraft sailboats. More of a sailboat dealer than anything, but we do offer brokerage boats, and we also handle some power boats. As you walk down the dock here, you'll see the new Beneteaus on display. That's a new Beneteau Oceanus 41. That's a new Beneteau Oceanus 34. And then here's some brokerage boats. This one just sold. That's a Beneteau 373. And there's a little Tierra 40. So we have power boats here as well. This whole dock is full of brokerage boats, and this is our office that we office out of. It's Sea Lake Yachts. You can find us at sealakeyachts.com. Look forward to you stopping by to see us. Alright, now I'm going to take you inside Sea Lake Yachts. Narrating is Doug Hughes. I run this place. I've been here 18 years. It's been here 25. Coming in the front door, we got one of our dinghies laid up in there. There's Melissa. Hard at work. Yep. Bunch of trophies from sponsoring regattas. We're a dealer for lagoon catamarans as well. You see around the cabin we got a bunch of pictures of the Beneteau sailboats. There's another dinghy. That's the Little Yachts. It's a new boat we're selling. It's a First 20 trailerable. This is Jamie's office. He's out. This is my office. Got charts on the walls and some memorabilia, my guitar. Coming around, Sailboat Mike's office. He's out to lunch with one of his clients right now. They're getting ready to go sailing this afternoon. In here we have Richard Boyer working hard. Richard's working hard. There you go. There you go. He's got the back exit. You can sneak out of here whenever he feels like it. He's been doing this 15 years. And here we have Captain Robert Brush. Captain Robert Brush has been here a few years now. He's working hard.
Welcome to Sea Lake Yachts.
He does a mean Willie Nelson. Sort of looks like him too. We'll hear that later. Has a boat named Always on My Mind. In this office here we have Pat O'Neill, the infamous Pat O'Neill, and his dog Sandy. She's an exciting dog. Caught Pat eating nuts. There you go. Pat's the offshore sailing. He likes to sail a lot. Quite the sailor. So there you go. This is where we live. Sea Lake Yachts, Kemah, Texas. Pier 2 in Watergate Yachting Center. Sailboat Mike is back from lunch, and him and Richard are going to move this Oceanus 34 over to Houston Yacht Club, where we're having a family fun day. And we're going to be taking people sailing. They're going to sail it across the bay. It's going to be about a 2.5 hour sail for them. We'll see them take this thing out of the slip. But there's the famous Sailboat Mike. He's the infamous Sailboat Mike. He's not going to look at us. He's camera shy. Oh, there he is. Okay. And Richard's crewing. Richard is crewing. Yeah, it didn't sound right, did it? Here comes one of our clients. This is the famous Roy Murray. He bought a Beneteau 50 from us.
Never sailed it.
He doesn't ever sail it. It's for sale. It's on the market. All right, we're trying to watch Sailboat Mike and Richard take this boat out of the slip.
Where are they going?
Houston Yacht Club. We're doing a family fun day out at Houston Yacht Club. Taking people out sailing.
Oh yeah.
Doing demo rides on this one and also on the Beneteau First 20.
On the 20, not the 41.
No, 41 staying
I finally
here.
found my hose.
Oh, good.
Everything but the knob.
Did you find the two fenders?
I never found the other two fenders. I think I've still got one of yours, as a matter of fact.
What's that other line there? Watch what you're doing. He's got another line there.
Yeah, really. Spring line is that one.
Oh, is that what it is?
I want to ride. I wish you were taking the 41. I mean, I like that boat. Hey, can I go on the 41? Is it unlocked?
I think so. Go aboard. Go check it out.
Check it out.
I'll get you a key if it's not unlocked.
Yeah, it is locked.
Difficult getting this knot out. It's a bowline. Takes two guys, two yacht brokers, experienced yacht brokers, to untie one knot. You need the lines for when we get over there.
Where'd you get that GoPro camera?
West Marine,
Is that the one that uploads from the
Wi-Fi and all. Yeah,
Wi-Fi and everything?
yeah, it's the
How
three.
much was it?
About 300.
Yeah, I paid $300 for mine.
Or
And
no,
I swear,
$399, I think. There they go.
Somebody's got one on sale for $199. But now I can't remember who
They're
it
off.
was.
Off to the yacht club.
There's one at Costco for
But
$199.
it's not the GoPro 3 though.
It might not be the GoPro 3. You're right.
And they're off. Can't say that. Okay, this is Melissa. She's the office manager, accountant, front desk, answers the phone, and tries to keep 6 yacht brokers in line. Did you hear about the company that wants to do a reality show on brokers?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You think that'd be entertaining?
That'd be very entertaining for this office.
There you go. That's all I needed. There's the first 20 coming in. They've just taken that family out for a sail. And now Angela and I are getting ready to take out a big group on the 34 Beneteau. That's our next ride. So there we go. The first 20 is landing. Beautiful little boat. And now we're on board 34 Beneteau.
All right, Carol, you just take the helm. Just like driving the car.
Except there's no lanes.
Yeah. There's no traffic.
And
I like that.
Been sailing before? Just cleaning up the lines. Oh, watch out, get your sea legs.
What water are we on here? This
Galveston
Galveston
Bay.
Bay. This is
That's they come up just like this. See how that is? Put it in the line and flip it, and that's how they handle it. All right, you want to come up and see?
You gonna sail, Athena?
Come up and see. We're sailing.
Let's dig in.
Get down a little. When you start fluttering like that, you can sail off the wind and go back up. There you go. If you ever hear the sails luffing, that usually means you're headed too far up in the wind and you just drive it down a little. That water tower is a good target plane too. Is that water tower straight across?
Oh, yep, now I do.
If you keep pointing that, I think you'll be on the
Right.
point of sail.
The bubble one on it's white. See it, babe? You got it.
Where's your wind, Athena? On it. Pretty pleasant day today.
Yeah.
it's really nice.
I thought we might be cold out here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't swim. He's never cared about boats much, but I thought, you got him to sit on the boat, that
Yeah.
because he's so Alzheimer'd, I thought he might not remember that. Because there was a lot of things he wouldn't used to do,
Yeah.
but now See that red light blinks on your video. That's the new first 20. They just reintroduced those to the United States. They imported them for over 10 years.
So that's a
No, over 20 years. Back in 1940, they quit importing that.
I'll watch for you.
I'm right in your way, aren't I?
You are a
Yeah.
terrible
Am I
window.
right in your way?
Yeah, you're right in
She
our
didn't
way.
even say anything. She just looked around me. That's a good sailor.
Call up the backseat driver.
All right,
Somebody
here's
help.
Captain Robert Brush. Go ahead, Angela.
All right, Captain. Well, what's your age?
63.
63. And
You're young.
Yes. And what do you do?
I am a yacht broker for Sea Lake Yacht Sales.
How long have you been doing this?
I'm working on my 3rd year.
All right. And how'd you get started?
Well, one day I was sitting at a bar and had a friend of mine who happens to be Doug Hughes, the sales manager and principal at Sea Lake Yacht Sales, received a phone call, and upon returning from that phone call, he pointed at me and said, "You want to be a yacht broker?" Like, you bet. I've done a lot of things, and yacht brokering is one of them I like to do.
All right. So, what are some of the challenges that come with the profession?
Oh gosh, I'd say probably primarily getting customers in to buy a boat, but yeah, that's part of the beauty of it all is talking to people and finding out their needs, their wants, and their desires, because really no one needs a boat. People want boats.
Very good. So, have you had an interesting or memorable deal that you've brokered?
Oh, I think all of my deals have been pretty memorable. I don't really have one that stands out in my mind. I think that each one has been an individual exercise in, I wouldn't say futility because of the fact that we actually were able to close the deal, but it's been fun. And each individual, like I say, has their own individual characteristics that they have to overcome, problems, issues, so on and so forth. So,
All right. So, tell us something that the person behind the camera would not know about you.
the person behind the camera wouldn't know that I used to be a jockey. I was actually an exercise boy for a trainer, a local trainer, well, I'll say a local in Texas trainer for quarter horses. And I was a cowboy, I was a calf roper. I know I don't look that part now, but that's what I was.
All right. So what's the craziest thing that has ever happened to you? Work or home?
Oh, the craziest thing was probably the time that I went, the railroad had gone on strike, and the railroad, whenever the railroad strike, they only strike for a period of hours, normally speaking. And this particular time, I had an engineer, which I should have known not to trust engineers. Engineer on the railroad being different from an engineer otherwise, but we went and shacked golf balls for some money, and we went to a lake and never had scuba dived before, and whenever I went down and was gathering all these balls up, all of a sudden I realized that I didn't have any more air, and whenever I surfaced, I was trying to tread water, and it's quite difficult when you have tanks and weights and about 250 pounds of golf balls hung on each side of you. So needless to say, I thought I was going to meet my maker that day. So
wow.
That was one of the craziest things. Yeah.
Okay, so someone's just stolen the lead of a lifetime. How would you get that lead back using your best sales technique?
I really I probably don't really have a technique in taking the lead back, because I feel like that if that person who took that lead from me needed it that bad, then, you know, they can have it. They needed it that bad, then, you know, so be it.
All right, so what about your job inspires passion?
Oh gosh, talking about boats, I love boats. My wife told me whenever I took this job, she said, you know, it's a great thing that you're going to do this, because she said, I think it's actually going to save us money. you like to talk about boats, and now if you're going to be a yacht broker, you'll be able to actually gain some money by selling a boat, hopefully one of these days. And versus I was spending money and still talking about boats to people. So that was probably one of the greatest things.
All right. What size boats do you specialize in?
I would say anywhere from 30 to 55, 60 foot. My specialty, I feel, is probably power boats, although I do have quite a lot of time in sailboats. Sail from Tortola to here in a 40-foot boat. Been from Cancun to Mexico, from there to here in a 36-foot boat. So, yeah, I'd say 30 to 60 foot.
All right, and what's the biggest yacht you've ever sold?
Oh, it was a 53-foot Carver. It was a very nice boat. There again, like we said before, very individual things that surrounded that sail, and it was an interesting adventure into the yacht brokerage of large boats.
All right, so how many would you say you sell in a year? I know you've only done this 3 years, but
you know, I really have not stopped to count. I'd have to go back to to management and find that number, because I don't count. It's all fun in a day's work or a year's work, whichever the case.
all right. Tell us a little bit about yourself and show us the people you work with. I'm not sure
Well,
about
a little bit about me is pretty much I began the waterfront adventure as a child, having a small Cypress hull skiff that my grandfather gave me, and then I progressed from there up into the shrimp boats. I became a deckhand on shrimp boats. From there, I went to work on the railroad after I got out of school, and spent pretty much my life on railroads as well as boats, still maintaining my relationship with boats and looking at different adventures thereby. I retired from the railroad and obtained my captain's license. Did quite a few deliveries of boats from different points around the U.S. as well as Tortola, Mexico. Pretty much pretty much tells you the story on me. I've worked with the yacht broker Doug Hughes, who is the principal at Lake Yachts, and he sold me my first big boat, which was a 42 Fever, and he worked with me for several years actually to make that deal come true, and not the particular deal, but finding the right boat for the right person. Pretty much that's it.
Well, and you sing a Mean Willie Nelson.
Oh,
too.
and I sing a Mean Willie Nelson.
Can you sing us a bar?
Yes, I can. Actually, my favorite tune is the one that I sing to my wife always, and that's Always on My Mind. And the name of our boat is Always on My Mind, and the reason for that is, of course, I always sing her that song, and there's a long, long story behind that. And if you see this video, you'll have to come see me to get the story. But one of the lines is, maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I should have. So, there you go.
Thank you, Captain Robert Brush.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's the Commodore of the Yacht Club helping a Prindle sailboat get docked. Thanks again, Robert.
All righty. Enjoy.
All right, here we are at the Houston Yacht Club at Family Fun Day. There's Richard Boyer.
Hey, how you doing?
Famous Richard Boyer. We're taking people sailing today on this beautiful Beneteau Oceanus 34. It's a brand new boat.
I might want you to check it out.
The Yacht Club is right up there. Founded in 1897. It's the oldest yacht club in the state of Texas. There's the famous Pat O'Neill.
Oh, right.
You ready for a break, Pat?
I can go again if you want.
You want to go again?
You
All right.
talk to
You're
whatever
quite
you
the
guys
sailor.
wanna do.
I'm
You know
gonna try to
me, man.
get a few
I sail
videos.
for days.
There's Vince. And this is the gang that's going out next.
Good.
All right, here goes Pat.
good.
He's taking out a pretty good sized group on this one. Beneteau Oceanus 34.
Yeah, it really has. The 20 is really good. On that 20 right now, single.
God, that's a good looking boat.
There she goes, Beneteau Oceanus 34. Pat's at the helm. Pat O'Neill, he's done quite a few crossings. They're heading out onto Galveston Bay. Yeah, here's a view from the upper deck of the yacht club. There's
Houston
the first
Yacht Club,
20 coming in. They've just taken that family out for a sail. And now Angela and I are getting ready to take out a family, a big group on the 34 Beneteau. That's our next ride. So there we go. The first 20 is landing. Beautiful little boat. And now we're on board 34 Beneteau.
All right, Carol, you just take the helm. Just like driving the car.
Except there's no lanes.
Yeah.
No traffic.
And
I like that.
Been sailing before? Just cleaning up the lines. Oh, watch out, get your sea legs.
What water are we on? This
Galveston
Galveston
Bay.
Bay. This is
Looking for something to hook on. That's just, they come up just like this. See how that is? Put it in the line, flip it, and that's how they handle up there. All right, you want to come up and see?
You gonna sail, Athena?
Come up and see. We're sailing.
Let's dig in.
Head down a little. When you start fluttering like that, you can sail off the wind and flow back up. There you go. If you ever hear the sails luffing, that usually means you're headed too far up in the wind and you just drive it down a little. That water tower is a good target plane too. Is that water tower straight across?
Oh, yep, now I do.
If you keep pointing at that, I think you'll be on the
Right.
point of sail.
So the bubble one on it's white. See it? Big one. You got it on.
Where's your wind, Athena? On it. Pretty pleasant day today.
Yeah.
it's really nice.
I thought we might be cold out here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy boat. He can't swim. He's never cared about boats much, but I thought, you got him to sit on the boat, that
Yeah.
because he's so Alzheimer'd, I thought he might not remember that. Because there was a lot of things he wouldn't used to do,
Yeah.
but now he... See that red light blinks on your video. That's the new first 20. They just reintroduced those back straights. They imported them for over 10 years.
So that's a
No, over 20 years. Back in 1940, they imported them.
I'll watch for you.
I'm right in your way, aren't I?
You are a
Yeah.
terrible
Am I
window.
right in your way?
Yeah, you're right in
Oh,
my
She didn't
way.
even say anything. She just looked around me. That's a good sailor.
Call up the backseat driver.
Somebody help.
I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's the first 20 coming back in after its final sail of the day. And then tomorrow we will move these boats from Houston Yacht Club over to Lakewood Yacht Club to display them over in the Keels and Wheels event, which is really a neat event. And I plan on doing some good videos of the Keels and Wheels. But there's the beautiful little Beneteau first 20 coming in. They're going to dock. On board is Richard Boyer and his wife Nancy and sailboat Mike. And once he hits the shore, we're going to get a video and an interview with sailboat Mike, our other star yacht broker. All right, so there's Sailboat Mike. Sailboat Mike, how old are you?
27. Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Multiply that times 2.
Yeah.
And what's your job title?
I'm your right-hand man.
That's correct.
That's what I heard.
And what else?
I'm supposed to sell sailboats every once in a while.
There you go. It's very nice. So Mike, you spent the whole day on the water sailing with all these people. You got some sun. Did you have a good time?
It's a wonderful time. I just wish I could go home now.
You'd like to go home now? Well, I need this interview.
You need this interview?
Yes. Let's see, what are the questions we're supposed to ask him?
How long have you been in the business?
20 years.
And how'd you get started?
I was homeless.
That works. And are you homeless now?
Yes, I am.
Actually, now he helps the homeless people.
You know what you call a yacht broker without a girlfriend?
After a hurricane,
Homeless.
that would be me.
All right. So, so what are some of the?
Now, what's the most interesting boat deal you've ever done? Most interesting boat deal you've ever done?
Or strange?
I can't tell them what I told you the other day. I don't really know, Doug. I'm sorry. I'm
There's so many of them. Yeah, you've been out sailing all day.
Yeah, no, not sailing all day.
What's your passion for this industry? Why do you continue to do this even though you don't make any money?
Because I don't have to leave the water.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get to sail all the time.
All right.
So if somebody stole a lead of a lifetime, will you push them overboard, or
I
what
don't
would you
swim
do?
with those fish.
Now, if somebody steals the lead from you, how do you get it back?
Well, I'm originally from Oklahoma. Generally, we'd burn someone out that did something like that.
Think of one more.
Okay.
We left the questionnaire up at the yacht club,
Yeah.
so we forgot all the questions. So it's your lucky day.
Yeah.
So you ready to go home after a long day of sailing?
I am. Actually, I didn't want to stop sailing, except I got the bubonic plague yesterday, and I got rained on 3 times yesterday, and so I'm kind of sick.
So you have the plague? I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I have the plague.
All right, so there's one more question. You're supposed to tell the guy that's behind the camera, which would be me, something that I don't know about you. That would be interesting.
Well, you're just starting to learn me a little bit. Like that, it's really hard to change my mind.
Thank you, Mike. Sailboat Mike. Wait, how did you get the name Sailboat Mike?
They being the only sailboater in an all-powerboat marina.
And why was that?
Why was I only sailboat there?
No, but why was it Sailboat Mike? How did that come up?
Well, I was living on a sailboat with my best friend, Freddie, which I would do a lot of things with. He would tell stories to other people, and he would start saying, Mike and I did this, and Mike and I did that, and he said, well, Mike who? He goes, yeah, you know, that sailboat dude, Sailboat Mike. That's how I got my name.
There you go. That's a perfect ending. Thanks, Sailboat.
All right, so I'm Doug Hughes. I think you asked earlier what's the title, and I guess I never really had a title other than I'm a yacht broker like the rest of them. But I do run Sea Lake Yachts, and if I was to pick a title, it would probably be General Sales Manager. I'm the one that tries to keep all those guys that we showed you previously in these videos in line, which is a very difficult task in itself. But they're all great guys. They all do a good job. We're all certified professional yacht brokers. You can find that on cpyb.net, I believe. And that'll tell you about what the CPYB program is. I serve on the CAC, which is the Certification Advisory Council for that program. I've also served 3 times as the president of our local Gulf Coast Yacht Brokers Association, and I've won the Yacht Broker of the Year award twice in this area, which is a award that we win as nominated by our peers. So all the other brokers in the area voted. Doesn't mean I sold the most boats that year. It just means that I was a good guy, I guess, amongst the other brokers, and I communicated and cooperated well with them. The other questions that you have on there, Angela, what do we have?
Yeah. What are some of the challenges that come with the industry?
Some of the biggest challenges in this industry is just paying the bills, because you know it's a feast or famine kind of industry where, you know, one month you'll make a huge paycheck and then the next month you may not sell anything. So for you kids out there thinking about becoming a yacht broker, I suggest that you stay in school, get an engineering degree. that represents a large percentage of our industry's market. So get an engineering degree and you will buy a boat instead of being a broker, which means we're brokered in the people that we deal with.
What is the most interesting or memorable deal that you have brokered?
Oh boy, I heard the other guys answer this, and I think I'm with them. I've had so many interesting and memorable deals. I guess one of my favorites was I sold a boat to a guy over the phone. After working him for days and days, he negotiated very hard with me, and we were like at $100,000, and the seller was at 110, and he came to 101, and finally he negotiated the deal. And I bragged on him. I said, well, you know, his name's Bryant. He's become a good friend of mine. He flies me around the country in his private jet. But Bryant said to me over the phone, him and I never having met before, he called me an asshole. And I said, well, why would you call me an asshole? And he said, well, anybody can sell me a product for over $100,000 over the phone. To me, is an asshole. And I said, well, I look forward to meeting you. So he flew in his private airplane a few days later to come and look at the boat and do the test sail. And when he arrived, he got out of the airplane, and I realized he only had one arm, and he's flying an airplane. I was impressed with that. And he came in to the airport. It's the first time we're meeting. Shook his hand. We walked into the airport lobby, and there was a Coke machine there. And he asked me if I wanted a Coke. And I said, well, sure, I'll take a Coke. So we walked over to the Coke machine, and he said, holy moly, it's $3 for a Coke. And so I suggested to him, well, maybe you should try to negotiate with that Coke machine, because you're a hell of a negotiator. And so we laughed, and we've become very good friends.
All right, so tell us something that the person behind the camera wouldn't know about you.
Well, since the person behind the camera is my fiance, Angela, and is also the marketing manager for marketing and social media director and manager for Lake Yachts, she knows pretty much everything about me. Something I will tell you that you don't know about us is that we've been together for 6 years, and we got engaged. Never really planned on getting engaged, but we've been together 6 years, and we got engaged in Trieste, Italy last year. It's been a little less than a year ago. It was a big surprise to her, and it was a Veneto manufacturer's dealer meeting that we were at, but it was just the two of us out in a nice rainy evening in the middle of Trieste, Italy, after going to Venice, and then we went on to Paris. So some of the perks of being a yacht broker is we get to do a little worldwide traveling.
Okay, so what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you, work or home?
Oh boy, this show is not long enough, and this video will not be long enough for me to talk about the craziest things that have ever happened to me. And if I came up with a number one thing, I don't know what I'd have. I'm stumped on that question. We'll have to check in a future episode.
All right, so what would you do if someone had stolen the lead of a lifetime? How would you get it back?
You know, I heard the other brokers' answers to this question, and I'm sort of like them, being being that we're big on our ethics and they're certified professional yacht brokers, and we have such a great team. We don't get a lot of people stealing each other's leads, and when we do, they sit down and they work it out together. I hate to give you a boring answer, but that's the way that we work in our office.
Okay, what about your job inspires passion?
My job inspires passion. I've been sailing since I was 14, and I'm 50. I forgot to say that earlier. I'm 54 now. I'll be 55 this year. So sailing for 40 years, it's something I really enjoy doing, and I love getting out on the water, and I love making people happy and making them smile. But my job prior to this was I was a photographer for 10 years. I think a question earlier on was how I got into this industry. I was traveling 5 states for 10 years as a photographer, and was missing my 2 young daughters growing up, decided to get off the road, and went and interviewed with a company in Austin, Texas, a sailboat shop, and said, I'd like to sell yachts. He looked at me and said, you're not a salesman. I said, well, yes, I am. I've been taking baby pictures for 10 years, and if you've ever tried to make a 2-year-old smile, that's quite a sales job. So that's how I got into that.
Very good. And then what's the biggest yacht you've ever sold?
The biggest one I think I've ever sold is a 55-foot Tiana, although I sold a 43-foot Celine out of Seattle, Washington. Again, we get to travel quite a bit through co-brokering deals. It's one of my more fun parts of this job. And that was a really, really big boat. Even though it was only 43 feet, it was quite large, and it sold for, I think, $620,000. Next week after next, I will be in South Carolina, Charlotte, South Carolina, and I'll be test sailing on a Veneto Oceanus 55. That boat will go for somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000.
Okay, so how many yachts would you say you sell in a year?
On the average, you probably sell around 20 a year. I mean, that's a decent broker. If he can knock down about 20 boat deals a year, he's doing a great job.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, which you already have.
I do.
Anything else you would like to add?
Well, you know, I like to have fun. I'm all about having fun. On our business card, let me just pull one of these out. It's something that Angela designed. I don't know how well this will show up, but she redesigned this, and it says "Live the Life." I don't know what that'll look like on there, but I like to sing karaoke, and I think we have some clips of me singing karaoke from the other night. We sponsored this event at the Yacht Club today, and we hired karaoke for kids. I also do a pretty good Forrest Gump, because I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is, J.D.
Perfect.
That's it.
Perfect.
All right, so we finished our family fun day at the Houston Yacht Club, and we're heading out, and that's the entrance to it. This building was built in 1927. The Yacht Club was established in 1897, and I'm getting ready to head home. And that's my truck right there with the personalized plates that say Sea Lake, from Texas, the Lone Star State. Hope to see you on the air.